everybody, it's Matt. Today I'm diagnosing a bad water pump. Basically it went out, the bearing is definitely going bad in it, and I'm going to show you how to change and replace the water pump today on your 1989, or for anybody that has an 87 through 1991 300 inline 6, this is the video for you. As you can see, for the most part, this is a pretty clean engine here. Our first task today is going to be removing the fan shroud from the engine. We have to get this off of here, that way we can make some room to get the fan and the viscous drive apart, and then we can begin taking the pulley off and then get to our water pump. As you can see behind this tube here, the fan shroud had hit the engine at one time, and you know, it broke it in a couple pieces, so I reassembled it here, and I just basically bolted it down like that. Basically, I just got to remove these two things here, and then the regular ones that are stuck on there, and then this fan shroud will slide out of the way. This fan shroud is out. The other thing that needs to be done too is you have to take this line, either get it out of the way or take it off completely. This goes over to your reservoir for the coolant, and this doesn't need to be in the way. Right here where this nut is for your 37mm wrench, and then your 57mm wrench will go around the actual pulley where the pulley bolts up to. And when you spin these away from each other, it'll loosen this fan clutch up. That way the viscous drive and the fan will release from the actual pulley. Then we'll further continue on getting the pulley off of there. Okay, we got the fan out. Now we're just going to take the fan shroud out of here and remove this. We'll set this off to the side. And now we're going to be ready to start taking this apart here for the water pump. So this is what we'll do next. Before we physically take this pulley off, the idler tension bolt right here needs to be lifted up so we can remove this belt. We're going to take this belt and take this belt off and make it easier on ourselves. This tensioner pulley is a 15mm. You can go ahead and you can just slip this right off. Okay, so now that the engine bay is washed out, I only did this section. If you get anything on the coil, you might screw up your timing and all that, and it just isn't a good situation. You don't want to hit anything back there really behind this. So now all the bolts for your water pump, here, and then a couple down there, these are all 13mm, all 13mm. Go ahead and undo those, and then surface prep is next. Got it all loosened up now. It's just sitting there. I'm draining the rest of this out of here. Letting that go, and then I'm going to take this all out and get it out of here, and then get ready to start prepping for the new surface as soon as this stuff stops draining. And here we go. The water pump is officially out, and it was worn out. Okay, so now the next thing it's done is I just got to sand this all out, prep the surface. That way I have good adhesion. The trick with this setup though is to use high tack gasket maker. We're going to show you what that is here in just a little while as soon as I get this prepped and ready to go. Cleaned the surface. Now what we're getting ready to do is apply the high tack. Since we already went around, I used 320 grit sandpaper, got all the gasket material off that was on here before. Now we're going to use a thing called high tack. This helps the gasket stick to the surface, and when you go to put it on, it won't spin around or anything like that when you go to start putting the water pump in. So let's go ahead and let's do that now. Now, as you can see, the high tack has been applied to the actual surface, the mating surface, and now we're going to put the gasket on here, okay? Okay, now you can see too that the gasket has been placed on there. It just sticks on there. That way, when you go to put this, say, a water pump on, it will not move. We're also going to high tack the water pump as well. So here's the brand new pump. I'm getting ready to install this now. I coated this in wax so it doesn't get crappy looking, but this is a nice little water pump. This came from Napa. I usually buy mostly Napa parts, only because they last the longest. It seems like Napa has a better quality than the rest of the automotive places out there. I was gonna go with I think it was a Trick Flow water pump, but I couldn't wait because it went bad this morning, so I had to go out and get this one anyway. I was getting ready to do a water pump job, but I had to go out and find this and just get something local rather than wait around. So we're going to get ready to install this right now. As you can see, they put this on here to cover the threads up, and like I said, looks like a nice pump. We're going to high tack that gasket and stick this on. We now have successfully installed all the bolts on this thing. Next is it's going to be time to torque it to spec. So now, whenever you're ready to go and tighten this water pump up, you got the 4 bolts, one here, down here, and then you can't see it, it's up on the other side. Make sure you torque them down between 12 and 18 foot-pounds. That's the same here. If you're doing your water neck as well, I don't have a video for that, but that is also 12 to 18 foot-pounds in the Motorcraft, Detroit manuals, whatever you want to call it, in the OEM book. So go ahead, torque them down to spec, and proceed from there. Next thing you want to do is put this back in.